Fine, thanks. Started several places, but just how have the practices gone for you guys? I mean, have there been days where you've missed players and you've had to make some adjustments and juggling? But overall, how do you feel like what you've got accomplished going into this first game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a juggling act. We've had some injuries, so those players are gradually coming back. And then, so you prepare for a practice, and then it always can be fluid. And, we call it the 5-minute rule. Anything can change. And but I think that we've really done a good job preparing, that we could go very small, 5 guards if we need to, or if we have to go big, then we can go big, because any given day, you just don't know what's going to happen, but I really believe our players are in a good spot. Obviously, they're very anxious and very hungry from how the season ended last year to get back out on the floor. And, I know we lost, 3 players, so we are experienced, but yet we are young. Some players haven't played a lot of minutes, so just really anxious to have an opportunity to play against someone else, hopefully starting this Sunday and having those 5 non-conference games.
You feel like you have the versatility on your team to mix and match in case you have to make some quick adjustments on the fly?
Absolutely. I think that's one of that we're very, a huge asset with our team, trying to play positionless basketball, especially between. We have a couple of kids that can play 1 through 4, but have that point guard and that 5. But just playing a variety of different positions, obviously understanding different offenses, but we're really trying to up the tempo this year, and obviously utilize our size and our length to get a lot of deflections and hopefully some steals.
You mentioned injuries. Is there some players you won't have available for Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday we won't have Bria Harmon. Cass Harden came off of surgery, obviously, and she's just gradually finally starting to get back to practice. Carissa may have an opportunity to play this year, so obviously I don't know when she'll be able to actually get in the game, and then last but not least, Roxanne McCullough did have an injury to her knee, so she'll be out this year.
Just with Carissa, has she been practicing?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing right now is just getting, her ankle moving again. She's starting to run. She's starting to do a couple defensive drills, starting to shoot and jump. So the biggest thing now is her ankle's good. It's just, just getting back into shape. That's going to be the big key, so nothing else happens.
What will Brooke Moore give you this year?
Fire, energy, scoring. She's got a nice, confident and swag about her. She's a great one-on-one player. So I just think the speed and the basketball IQ and understanding. I mean, she's still trying to adjust to some things, but she just can flat out score the ball. And obviously, we feel that we need that, and so hopefully we can get up and down the floor a lot better. But she just has a lot of confidence about her, and it's contagious.
Is she more of a combo guard for you, 1-2, or?
Yes.
Like her,
she's a flat-out scorer, so she's, when she was at Auburn, she, kind of played the wing most of the time, but we're having her do both, obviously, without Carissa. So, she can have the ball in her hands, and she also is very good off the ball. So she's totally a combo guard, and so you'll be seeing her play both positions.
Any idea who you might start on Sunday?
Possibly, yes, but as of right now, today, at this minute, unless something happens, it would be Kayana, Brooke, Asia, Tam, and Fatu.
Just for Tam to get back is, I don't know if it's as quickly as you thought, but for her, I think one of the last times I talked to you last spring was, you thought that would be a long process for her to get back, but just what did she do in the off season to put her in position to play and play heavy minutes this year?
Well, she's she has gotten back a little sooner than what we anticipated, and I think that was her sacrifice when the pandemic was going on. She didn't go home. She stayed here and did rehab three times a week, as well as doing things on her own at her house. So she totally dedicated herself to take that sacrifice, not going home. She was able to go home, obviously, in July or August, but she totally stayed for 4 months to do that. So that hats off to her, because that was a really tough time for everybody. And so now she's practicing very well. She can practice every practice, where the last several years she wasn't able to do that. And you know, her athleticism, her defense, her rebounding, all of those things are very solid. It's just like anybody when you come back from an injury, playing in that, you know, playing in a game, having that confidence. But she has been above and beyond what we thought she would be at this point.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
JD.
Hey, Coach. JD here. So ahead of Sunday's game, I guess, what is there to look out for with North Alabama? How have you prepared for this opponent specifically?
Well, North Alabama, they lost some of their players from last year, but they're very well coached, and they usually, you know, they shoot the three real well. They're all guards, really, except one post player, number 20 this year, and she's kind of the back to the basket player. So, you know, one thing that they do, you know, is they like to get up and down. They like to, you know, throw long, fast break passes. They want you just over-helping so they can kick out for the three. And, you know, so just playing all guards, shooting the three, trying to force them to maybe put it down with some players. They don't really have mid-range game as much. So, you know, we have to protect the basket as well as defend well outside.
Yeah, I saw they did pretty well against Iowa last year. They only lost by a few points in their beginning to last season. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough test. Talking about the Big Ten schedule that was released last week, I was just wondering if I could get your thoughts on the flexibility of the schedule, how you think it's going to adapt throughout the season, and some of those breaks that they put in case of quarantine or something like that happens.
Well, you know, as we've seen it through football, you know, I mean, you just have to, yeah, you can't be upset, you can't be frustrated. It's just going to happen. You know, there's different rules in different states, and so what could happen here is totally different than what could happen in Maryland or in Michigan. You know, so that's kind of the frustrating part, but we can't handle it that way. I think, you know, playing 3 Big Ten games before Christmas, I think that's very good. So we have some cushion on the backside. We moved our Big Ten tournament back to help with the flexibility, and, you know, hopefully you'll have time to be able to, you know, if one game's postponed, that we were able to get those in. But you know, that's going to be the key. We just got to take one day at a time, one game at a time. And, you know, just with the percentages of so many people, or if you're contact tracing and you all live together, it's just a lot different from state to state. So different teams are going to be affected differently.
Definitely. Looking at around the Big Ten, at least for 2020, so far everybody's won one game, so nobody's really pulled ahead, at least in the standings. Who do you think is your biggest opponent, at least on the conference schedule?
I mean, every single one. I mean, we've got 5 teams ranked in the top 25, others receiving votes. We're one of the top conferences in the country. We got great coaching. 6 of us were in the top 25 with recruiting. So we're all doing the right thing. Last year, we're going to get 8 or 9 teams in the NCAA tournament. You know, so I mean, you can't circle a game and think you're going to win. But, you know, obviously IU returns practically everybody, so they're probably the lead on that. Obviously Maryland lost a lot, but they always gain a lot. And Michigan, I would say those 3 in particular, you know, because they pretty much have everybody returning that they need. And then after that, I mean, Rutgers, those 4. Again, if you don't lose a lot and you have everybody back, you should be the top 4 in the conference, and then after that, anything can happen. And then Northwestern, they lost 2 of their bigs, but their guard play is absolutely, you know, very, very good. They just have to, you know, they got 6'5" and 6'4" that they lost last year that could score down low and shoot outside with Abby Scheid and then their post. So, you know, day in and day out, it's going to be a challenge.
Definitely. And then final question. You guys haven't dropped a season opener in the last 4 years. What's the key to starting off with success?
North Alabama's going to have already played 2 games, so they probably got the jitters out. Our first 5 minutes of this game will probably be a little sporadic and crazy on our part. No fans in the stands, no band, no atmosphere, so I think for us, it's that first quarter, we got to get whatever we have in our system out, and then really just get after it and know that, continue to do what we're doing that we've done in practice and not change that. But obviously the adrenaline and step it up a notch will be really big for us.
All right, good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank